Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Niti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Umajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunadan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namusute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarbyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Isvaraga Paramaha Krishnaga Sachidananda Vigraga Anadi Radhi Govindaga Sarvakarana Karanam. Hare Krishna. By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita, the purest knowledge, that is Pavitram, and the topmost knowledge, Uttamam. By Krishna's causeless mercy, now we are understanding about the symptoms of a self-realized person. So, when we achieve that status of yoga, that's what is very important, yoga. That means equal in both success and failure. Then at that point of time, nothing is going to affect us. There is Shruti Viprati Pannati. Shruti Viprati Pannati means whatever we are going to hear. So that's what in the past also, if you remember, I mentioned that hearing is a very, very important sense. So the sound, what we hear in our ears, is a very important object, sense object. So whatever we have heard, whatever we are going to hear, nothing is going to affect us. We are gaining knowledge using our jnanendriyas. It is our knowledge acquiring senses. So when we hear, whatever we have heard in the past, it is stored in our memory. So then we can recollect. Now whatever we are going to hear, that will also affect our mind. So what does that mean? Mind can be affected by what is stored in our brain and what we are going to hear from outside. Both the things, mind can be affected. So now, when we get this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, we need to shape our mind, control our mind in such a way that nothing should affect it. So that means it should not go and dig into our brain what is stored there. Of course, Krishna consciousness we can store in our brain and we can recollect and remember all the past times about Krishna. So that is not affected. If we remember, we went for some spiritual place and worshipped Krishna and all such things. If we recollect and at that time if we feel very happy, very nice, thinking about that, so there is not a problem. So that is really not affecting our mind. And also if we hear about what we are going to plan, like right now we are planning a lot of activities, devotees are meeting in different cities and planning a lot of things, how to spread this Krishna consciousness, how to spread this Bhagavad Gita, all those things when we hear, it gives us satisfaction, it gives us happiness. So that is not affecting our mind, that is okay. But if we think about anything which is not in connection with Krishna, that means if we enjoyed some material sense objects, something that if we think about it, then if we think about it, how nice we enjoyed, something like that, then it's a problem. Or in future, if we think about it, I'm going to enjoy, or if somebody says something and that affects everything related to this material sense objects, material world, all the material news, if we are getting affected by that, so then our mind gets affected. So that means our mind should be able to access only everything about Krishna. It should remember. We should remember only everything about Krishna conscious activities. We should do everything only in relationship with Krishna. So that means we need to forget whatever our past memories which are not related to Krishna. We don't have to remember them. How are we going to forget them? We don't want to remember them, whatever it is. If it was not related to Krishna, if it was not connected with Krishna, we don't want to remember them. How are you going to forget them? We don't have to worry. Krishna gives us that forgetfulness. And we want to only remember everything what we did, everything related to Krishna. In serving Krishna and pleasing Krishna, whatever we did, that we don't want to forget. We want to remember. Krishna will give that memory power also, that remembrance also. For example, we study Bhagavad Gita, we study the slokas, we understand the meaning of every sloka, and then we know about Krishna, we know about Krishna's pastimes. So, like, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataga. So, that is Krishna's divine appearance and activities, so that we should not forget it. We should remember. So, that's why Tacha samsmritya rupam adi adbhutam. Hari. So, that's what Sanjaya said there. When I keep on remembering again and again the wonderful form of Hari, so Roma Harsasya, so his hairs are standing on end. So, it's giving him so much of joy. So that we need to remember. We need to remember Bhagavad Gita. We need to remember all the slokas in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is teaching us in this Bhagavad Gita. For that, we need to use our brain. So we need to store everything good, everything related to Krishna, that only in our brain. Because they are all getting stored in our brain actually. Whatever we see, it goes through our eyes, it hits the retina, the light, the photons, basically, the photons that hit the retina. And then it passes the signal. So there are receivers are there. So there is receptors are there. There is photoreceptors. So like in our tongue, we have chemoreceptors to taste. And in our eyes, we have photoreceptors. So all such things are there. So what we need to do is, we need to actually receive only Krishna, do only everything related to Krishna. Whatever we want to do, everything it should be only in connection with Krishna. So that way, our senses will be used in Krishna's service. If anything else, we should be immediately able to withdraw our senses. That's what we are studying in the last 1 or 2 days, last lectures, Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd chapter. Like a tortoise is able to withdraw its limbs inside its shell, so similarly, we should be able to withdraw our senses from the sense objects. So that control we should have on our senses. That is possible only if we are able to control our mind. If we don't control our mind, then our senses are not going to listen to us. That's why Krishna is teaching us that. Like the sloka what I quoted yesterday also. in the 3rd chapter, Krishna is teaching in the 6th sloka. That is, Yastvindriyani manasa niyamya arabate Arjuna. So with the mind, we should control the senses, karmendriya. That is the working senses. So that means if our hand is going to do something, that means, for example, to gratify the sense object, our hands are going to do something or our legs are going to do something. Our mind should not let it to do. It should control it. That means our action should be controlled. Only the prescribed duties only we should do. So that means we should not be angry at all. We should not be having any attachment to the material sense objects at all. Then only it is possible. Then only we can keep our hands and legs under control. Then only it can do only when we want it to serve Krishna. Not for other reasons. Not for gratifying the sense objects. Even if you want to enjoy, if you want to taste the sense object, still we need our hands. Or even we need our legs to go somewhere to get the food and all such things. So these hands and legs are needed for enjoying even the sense objects. So they should be under the control. How it is going to be possible? Only when our mind is under our control. That's what we are studying the last couple of days, this slokas. In fact, in this chapter towards the end, that is for Arjuna's question, that what are the symptoms of a self-realized person? Krishna is teaching only about this one, only about the controlling the senses, controlling the mind, and the relationship between senses, mind, and the senses are very strong, and all such things Krishna is teaching us. So that way, in fact, elaborately, of course, we study in the 6th chapter in the Dhyana Yoga how to control our mind. Krishna is teaching very clearly. But now to become a yogi, to become a sthita prajna, so to keep our intelligence with us. So that means our intelligence should not be lost. That's why it's called sthita prajna. Prajna is intelligence. Sthita prajna means our intelligence is very steady. It's with us only. Our intelligence is not lost. To do that, what we are supposed to do. That is the entire Bhagavad Gita Krishna is teaching us. If we are engaged in Krishna service, only remembering Krishna, all the activities, if we do it for the satisfaction of Krishna, that means we will have our intelligence. We will not lose our intelligence. That's what we already studied in the 2nd chapter. We studied Krishna, taught us very well that in the sloka number 45 we studied it. Bhoga Aisvarya Prasaktanam Taya Apagrita Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Samadam Nabit. So if you are attached to Bhoga and Aisvarya Prasaktanam, so I believe this sloka number 44 in the 2nd chapter. So Bhoga Aisvarya Prasaktanam Taya Apagrita Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Samadam Nabit. So we are not going to get steady intelligence if we are attached to material sense enjoyment, Bhoga and Aisvarya. So that's why Krishna is teaching us that Traigunya Visaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavavarjuna. So we give up all the Nistraigunya, free from the modes of nature. If we are controlled by the modes of nature, so that means we are not going to have intelligence. But we know that the mode of goodness is helpful. So that means we have to definitely free ourselves from the mode of passion and mode of ignorance. We know that we cannot free ourselves from all the 3 modes of nature on day 1. But we need to first come to the level of goodness and do everything for Krishna. So then we will be able to completely free ourselves from the 3 modes of material nature. Once we surrender to Krishna, once we start doing everything for the satisfaction of Krishna only, not for anyone else, so at that point of time, we can say that we are freed from the modes of nature. Whatever service, whatever act we are doing directly for as a service to Krishna, so that means we are not controlled by the modes of nature there. Because our goal is only to please Krishna, nothing else. When we serve Krishna, what we want to, the result what we want. Of course, it's better to get attached to that kind of result because we want to please Krishna. That is the result what we want. So that is our goal. So at that point of time, if our goal is only one, that is to please Krishna, then means to do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, then we don't have to worry. We are not under the control of the modes of nature. So that way, how can we please Krishna? That's a very important question. Only simply by following Krishna's instructions, we can please Krishna. We know what Krishna wants from Bhagavad Gita, and simply by doing what he wants, we will be able to satisfy Krishna. So that way, our mind should be under our control, our senses should be under our control, and we need to do all the activities only in relationship with Krishna for the satisfaction of Krishna. And how we can make sure all such things can happen? How can we do that? For that, one very easy, such an easy solution is there, to do all these things only once. Just by doing one activity, all the requirements are met. All will be fulfilled. How? So what kind of activity can fulfill? There is, as many times I have mentioned in the past, spreading this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. That's the service which actually satisfies Krishna completely. So whatever efforts we put in spreading this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, that doesn't mean that we only have to go and give lecture. If possible, we can do. That's really nice. But otherwise also, we have to identify devotees and give them this knowledge. That's what is very important. So that means we need to let them know that we are studying Bhagavad Gita on Zoom every day and we are enjoying every day. So come, let us enjoy. So that's what, people normally they throw parties and they go and enjoy and all such things. So here we are having party every day. We are enjoying with Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, studying Bhagavad Gita, remembering Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and studying and understanding this Bhagavad Gita again and again, understanding everything. And this is giving us so much of satisfaction and bliss. So, Krishna is teaching us that by conversing about me, they derive great satisfaction and bliss. Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantaga Parasparam Kadayantascha Manityam Tushyanticha Ramanticha. That's what we are, Tushyanticha Ramanticha. This is what is bringing us happiness, nothing else in this world. All other activities, they don't bring any happiness to us in this material world. Only whatever we do for Krishna, they bring happiness. Any other activity which simply brings distress only, no happiness at all. It's guaranteed, no happiness. Only activities what we do it for Krishna. So that when we remember Krishna, when we glorify Krishna, that is the main thing. When we glorify Krishna, our happiness will increase. The more we glorify Krishna, the more we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the more and more when we get ourselves connected with Krishna, that is Satatam. Krishna is using the word Satatam. Satatam means always. Satatam Kirtayam Tomam. Always engaged in chanting Krishna's glories. So that's what is going to bring us unlimited peace of mind and unlimited happiness. That we are already feeling, already we are observing in our daily efforts to study and understand this Bhagavad Gita. So we have successfully finished 60 verses in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So for Arjuna's question, Krishna is answering very clearly, very nicely, very elaborately, that what are the symptoms of a self-realized person? And we know that the very first answer itself, Krishna said to Arjuna that one who is able to give up all varieties of desires for sense gratification, he is the self-realized person. That is the main thing. You should not have any material desire at all. So what do you want? I want to become this, I want to become that and all. We should not be telling. I want to serve Krishna. That's it. We want to please Krishna. That's it. So how we know that we are going to please Krishna? That's what, by studying and understanding this Bhagavad Gita, following Bhagavad Gita, we are going to please Krishna. So in this sloka number 59, Krishna is teaching us in the second chapter we studied, that is, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dekinaga rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So we know that very well that it is possible to control our senses by force. So from the sense objects, Vishaya, one can be by force, one can be restricted to enjoy the sense objects. So Vishaya vinivartante niragarasya degana. That's not going to work. Krishna already said very clearly in the 3rd chapter, 5th sloka we studied. Very nicely Krishna taught us that Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudatma midyacharaga sauchyate. While trying to control our hands and legs, karmendriyas, samyamya, but still if our mind remembers the sense objects, manasa smaran indriyarthan. Manasa smaran indriyarthan means if we remember the sense objects by mind, so then we are fools, we are pretenders. That's what Krishna is teaching. So that means, what is the best way to control our mind, control our senses? Manasa smaran Krishna. Not Indriyata, Bhagavan Krishna, Manasasman. So, Karmendriyani Samyamya Ya Aste Manasasmaran Bhagavan Shri Krishna Amudatma. He is not Vimudatma, he is Amudatma. That's what we need to understand. So, he is not a fool, a person who is able to control his senses and remember Krishna. That's what Manasasmaran Bhagavan Krishna Amudatma. Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That's what we need to do. So that's why here Krishna is teaching that it's possible by force, possible to control someone by force, not to enjoy the sense objects, but that's not going to work. The best way is to Manasasmaran Bhagavan Shri Krishna, then it's going to work. We need to remember Krishna, that is the main thing. So our mind should be focused only on Krishna. Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshayagam. So fix your mind upon me, focus your intelligence upon me. That's what Krishna is teaching us. So we should do that. Then everything is fine. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. So what is that higher taste? Manasasmaran Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So remembering Krishna with our mind, so that is the higher taste. So then we will be able to forget about this material sense objects. So in the next sloka, Krishna is teaching us, in the sloka number 16, Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitagam indriyani pramatini karanti prashabam managa. So even a person who is full of knowledge and is endeavoring to control the mind, control them, control the senses. But the senses are so strong and impetuous that they forcibly carry away the mind. Even a person who is able to, endeavoring to control the mind, still the senses are very, very strong. Indriyani pramatini haranti prashabam managa. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind, even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. That's why Krishna is teaching us, the next sloka, very clearly. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaka vasehi yasendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. It's very important. Krishna is teaching us very nicely that Tani means those, mind, those senses. So that's what Indriyani, Pramatini. So that's what is Tani, that Indriyani, Pramatini. So Tani, those senses, Sarvani, all the senses, Samyamya. We need to control. How? Yukta Asita Matparagam. So just doing everything for me. That's it. In relationship with Krishna, that's what Matparagam. So everything should be done only for Krishna. If you have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, if you understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, so then our senses will come under our control, because our mind will become our best friend. Our mind will not listen to the senses. Then the senses cannot carry away our mind. Indriyani pramatini haranti prashamam managa. Senses are so strong and impetuous that they forcibly carry away the mind. But if we are engaged in serving Krishna with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so then our mind cannot be carried away by the senses, but rather our mind will be able to control the senses. That's what Yastundriyani manassaniyam yarapate Arjuna. So that's why Vasegi Yasendriyani. So we need to bring those senses under the control of ourself. So his intelligence is very well established. Tasya prajna pratistita. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me is known as a man of steady intelligence. So that means we can control our senses. We can control our mind only by focusing our mind on Krishna. Manasamyamya matchitho. Control your mind by focusing your thoughts on me. That means focusing your mind on me. That's what it is possible. So if we do that, then we can control our senses. So now let us do that. Let us do that practice. Let us control our senses. Let's control our mind by focusing our mind on the transcendental sound vibration. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Rama, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Timir Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guruji. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. I kindly request the devotees to use the Zoom raise hand feature to ask your questions to Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Guruji. There are no questions. Thank you, Guruji, for today's class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Subir Mishra Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yogita Pandey Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Guruji, the class was very good and I'm able to understand also the shlokas. Actually, I'm not regular in Zoom, but I follow your recordings.
Oh, very nice, Mataji, very nice.
Nowadays there are holidays, so I hope I will be regular. But due to the school timing, I was not being able to join the Zoom classes.
You are in Delhi, correct, Mataji?
Ghaziabad.
Okay.
I mean Ghaziabad, NCR.
Is it closer to Delhi, Mataji?
Yeah, it is closer.
Yeah, because we have a team of devotees in Delhi. That's why I was asking.
Yes, I was just going through the messages. And
you are in that group. You are in that group, correct, Mataji? You are in that group.
Yeah, I'm in that group. And I see that last Sunday you all were planning to meet at Noida.
Yeah, we are planning to meet. Yes.
So Sundays I will be able to meet, but not on the working days. So
yes, Sundays, yes, Mataji. You are working as a teacher, correct, Mataji?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yes, that's correct, Mataji. Anyway, I think you are in the group and you can follow that. That's very nice, Mataji. I'm happy you are able to go through our recordings every day. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have you as a mentor. So yes, I'm able to understand also, and I have got a great interest in reading the Bhagavad Gita also because of
Yes,
you only.
yes,
You
Mataji.
explained
Krishna
it very well.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, we have plans to identify more devotees. I'm sure. Yeah, yes, Mataji. In Sundays, some Sundays when they are able to meet, you can also, like Chitrita Mataji, you can talk with her. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Subir Mishra Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
No question Guruji. Hare Krishna Guruji. Hare. Thank you to the class.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Gayatri Mataji. Hare Krishna. Kamlesh Dingra Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
After a long time, I joined.
Yes,
Actually,
yes,
I am in
Mataji.
India right
Oh, you
now.
are in India. Okay, okay, Mataji. Oh,
Yes,
you are joining from India, Mataji?
yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I am in India. Actually, I came with my children for Haridwar for Asthya. So we
Very
did
nice.
that thing. Yes. So I will start joining from here now. I am going to be here for a little longer time.
Okay, Mataji. You can connect from there. Very nice, Mataji.
Yeah. Is there anything special here is going on? If I can afford to go, I will see. I can go. But
Yes,
otherwise,
Mataji.
it's
Which
hard
place
to
in
go.
India you are, Mataji? Where in India?
Right now I am in Gurgaon.
Okay.
So I will travel like wherever somebody lives, I will just go there.
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
I will try to go to Vrindavan too, but right now I don't have any plan because my son and my daughter is leaving today, and my son is going to join any ashram. He wants to go for some time, so things are not in my hand, but I will join
Yes.
when I can.
Hare
Just
Krishna.
wanted to join. Thank you so much, and Hare Krishna to
Hare
everybody.
Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Roma Rai Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Guruji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. We will meet today
Hare-
after this. Yes, Mataji. Hare
Yes, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Gayatri Shivakumar Mataji. Hina Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Guruji, for another wonderful class.
Yes, Mataji.
No question from my side. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vishnuvardhana Rao Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Mahendra Shukla Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे आपका आशीर्वाद मिलता रहे थैंक यू गुरु जी हरे कृष्णा टू ऑल
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Palaniyappan Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Palaniyappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare.
Today, when I heard your explanations about Sloka 61 as well as the general explanations you are given regarding mind, that is, two things mind is always doing. That is, by hearing, we get one part, and second part is the activity stored in mind already. There are two things the mind is, that is there. But when we analyze, in Tamil there is a slogan. In English, if we say, if you want a child to be properly grown up, whatever he learned within 5 years,
Yeah.
then that is permanent, and
Yes.
even that cannot be learned even at the age of 50.
That is correct.
That is the slogan in Tamil.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So, if in that respect, if you, because,
Ingil valayadadu, aruvadil valayadu. That's one.
yes. So, in that respect, if we analyze the statement of yours today regarding Bhagavad Gita, it's all parents only important. They are,
Yes. That's very,
at least we
very,
should
very
start.
important.
Yes.
Yes.
Parents only more important for the children to grow proper.
Yes.
Because up to 50 years, we already have so many storage in the mind, which are all fighting that these, all the thing is in the mind. And totally we have to forget and go to Krishna.
Yes.
That is the Bhagavad Gita
Exactly.
Bodhana. So, yes, that is a very tough job, my thing. Yeah, that is a thing. Nowadays, at least present Prime Minister of India is following, asked to follow Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
In many places he is telling. And the schools are to start. That is more important. At least in each period, the schools are to start with the Bhagavad Gita. Bodhana. That is more important. Otherwise, this 1 in 1,000 is really going to be in future 1 in 10,000. My thinking. Yes, that is the thing. When today this thing, when I heard from you, thank you, Guruji. Thank you. Daily you are giving us all this thing, Bhagavad Gita, these explanations that are really wonderful. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Kandula Tirupati Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Vishnuvardhana Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Shashireka Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Kandula Tirupati Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you very much today's class also. I am very happy to see you again. Okay, Guruji. Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna. Shashireka Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much for another wonderful class. Very nice to listen to what Krishna has to say. And it is such a powerful and such a direct message. You know, I mean, there is nothing more to say. It's like that. He's so clear, especially today's shloka and the series of shlokas that he's talking about Sthita Pragya. And, you know, you just have to think of me and then, you know, you have to control your senses through controlling your mind. And that can be done by thinking of me. And that's all that is required. So I think it's, like Parniappan Prabhu said, I also agree that it seems so simple. It sounds so simple. And but like we have always experienced, Guruji, unlearning is the most difficult thing in life. Learning something new is not difficult, but unlearning, you know, which means our habits, you know, like they say, habits die hard. So all the things that we have learned over a period of so many years and all the negative things that are in our mind, and we need to unlearn all of it. And that is what is a challenge. But we are very fortunate, Guruji, that we have you to help us because this is a very powerful message that we keep getting every day, reiteration and, you know, again and again, bringing us back on our track. And that is what is enabling us to take those baby steps forward. Even if our progress is not significant, at least we are not going back by, you know, 4 steps. Even if we take That's what I
Yes.
think. At least we are not going back. We are not falling, behind. At least we
Yes.
are making some progress, even if it is incremental, is very less. Even then, we're making progress, and that is what we need to do, inching our way towards Krishna or Goloka.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is a beautiful, joyful experience. Thank you so much, Guruji, for giving us this experience and
Yes,
keeping
it's
us on the
nice.
spiritual path. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Extremely indebted to you, extremely grateful to you, Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Ganesh Udupa Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Vishnuvardhana Rao Prabhu. Oh, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No questions, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Ram.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ravin Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Guruji, wonderful class, Guruji, like how Palniappan Prabhuji mentioned and Shashirika Mataji mentioned that we are at least not falling back because of your class. So we are making, I believe we are making every day inch by inch progress,
yes.
on a million light year distance object. So at least it is little bit progress, but we will reach sometime as long as our
Krishna
direction.
is saying that without any delay we'll reach him. So we'll reach him.
Yes, Prabhu. We need to catch the right frequency, the frequency of light, then we will.
No, because Krishna is coming and taking us, so it's going to be Tesam aham samudarta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat pata mayavesita chetasam. So only thing is that we have to focus our thoughts on Krishna, then he is going to come very quickly and deliver us.
Yes, he is aham kalosme, so he can manipulate time, right? So
yes.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, I want to discuss a couple of things what we learned today. So one is that we either get, we means the mind either gets subdued by what happens around us, or our that is our senses, because what is happening around us is captured by the senses only. So either we get subdued by the senses or we subdued the senses. So that option is ours. So we should not let it go and get subdued by the senses. So we need to control the senses and be on top of it, basically. So that is one. Is that right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. That's why
and
that is exactly what Krishna is teaching in today's sloka.
Yes, Prabhuji. And the second thing is, Prabhuji, that you mentioned about the memory, the hearing. So I consider this as memory is the past, hearing is the present, and the third one is the future, right? So these are the three things that actually we are worried about, or we are being controlled by. So if we get free from all these three things, so then we will become a Sthita Prajna. That means neither the past nor the present, or nor what we are going to hear in the future, if we are not affected by all these. So is that correct, Prabhuji, my understanding?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. So thank you, Guruji. Wonderful class, Guruji. As everyone is mentioning, we are really blessed by your class, that we are constantly kept within the framework of Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Sumati Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you for today's class. And the controlling of senses is really difficult, Guruji, especially when it comes to things we like. our mind gets pulled so much into that. Whether it is something to eat or dresses to wear or something, we get pulled so easily in that direction. And thinking of Krishna, it really helps.
That's why we should make sure that we are engaged in always in Krishna's service. That's what I mean.
Correct. Yes, that is important. And as Parniappan Prabhu rightly said, "Aindil valayadethu, aimbadil valayuma." That is very true, Guruji. The training of children at a young age is so important. Below 5 years is so important for them to also, imbibe good habits. So thank you,
Yes.
Guruji. Thank you, class. Thank you for the classes, Guruji, and thank you for keeping us always in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna. Vishnuvardhana Rao Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. No questions, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Nagarjun Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji, for today's class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Vrinda Jai Singh Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Your morning sessions are like a, alarm for all of us. It helps us to connect to you, to Krishna, to all our members and our Prabhujis and Matajis. Thank you so much, Guruji. Yesterday was Tuesday and I had gone for my counseling session in the hospital, and one young girl had come over there, and she works in a bank, and she came with her mother. She was in a pretty low condition. And during the course of our conversation, she happened to say that her only hobby is to sit in front of Krishna and just go away to the Juhu ISKCON temple. I was so connected to Krishna at that point of time. I said, Krishna has...
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I think you got muted. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Vrinda Jai Singh Mataji, Hare Krishna.
This client of mine, of me, reminded me of Krishna. So I was very happy. And of course, it was a long case and needs help. But I really feel that whatever service I will be doing.
I don't know, you are getting muted again and again, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you now, Mataji. For some reason, you are getting muted again.
Yeah. Yes, Guruji. Now I can hear you.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you so much for encouraging and always reminding us that we need to do our best service for Krishna.
Yes.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So my suggestion to her was also, she said, I just go to the temple and come. So I could only encourage her by telling her that you should start reading the Bhagavad Gita. So she said, yes, she will start. And, so slowly, I would link her up with this group of us. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Chandrakanta Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Census is Guruji for me. Actually, I was not drinking coffee, tea, Guruji, because nowadays there's too much of rain and somehow I'm going to the swimming. I'm feeling too much, some thing in the brain. So now I started drinking tea, not regularly, but whenever I feel like that, I'll drink tea. That's what, this is what all sensory, this thing, the mind control is very difficult. That's what I was.
He also has caffeine, Mataji. It's not good.
Yeah, I was not drinking after the disease. Then doctor also told not to drink, but somehow some brain is not something very sleepy or something like that. I'll feeling low. So today also I drank, Guruji. That's what I was feeling when you taught us today. Then tomorrow onwards, I should see to it that I should not get at least small things. One is coffee, tea, like that. One small things we should start with, Guruji. That's what I felt from today's class. Then what Vrunda Jaisin Mataji was talking about her patient, what I felt, Guruji, that that day in the group discussion we are talking of that Bhagavad Gita Yajna by Udupi Mutt. The writing the 700 slokas in a book and submitting that Koti Yajna they are doing after 1.5 years. Now they want to do. That may also help the patient. That's what I was feeling with. The link and all I don't know because Shashrika Mataji knows. That may help that this case. Where he is also Krishna devotee. If they start writing in a book, then it will help. That's what I felt, Guruji, when she was talking. But link and all, I don't know. Shashireka Mataji may give the link. The writing, even I'm thinking, Guruji, to write in a book all the 700 sloka, look at it and writing, and only thing is we have to go and submit it to the temple. That's all the thing. It seems that especially for the patient like her, it will really help. Not only the patient, even for us also it will help. That's what I'm feeling, Guruji. After today's class, these are all the small sensory, this thing we have to control, like what Sumati Mataji was telling, dress or eating, these things. I need, especially I need your blessings and Krishna's mercy to come out of these small sensory, this thing, Guruji. Temptations. I need your real blessings, Guruji, to come out of these sensory temptations. Eating and all, I can control this. Because of coffee, tea, somehow it is not good. Doctor also told, Krishna is also telling, you are also telling, but still see, Guruji, how it is pulling, how difficult it is. That's what it's my own experience, Guruji. I need your blessings, Guruji, and Krishna's mercy also. I have to come out of this, Guruji. I have to come out of this. That is what I was thinking in today's class, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Deepesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you for the wonderful class. Guruji, sometimes, in our life, expectations are not matching. Like somebody expects us to do something or we expect them to do something. And I know Krishna has told us that, you should not expect the result. You should work hard. You have to do your job and not expect results. But what about the other people when they have expectations of us and we are not able to meet that, or unknowingly we don't know about it? How do we deal with that?
As long as we meet Krishna's expectations, we don't have to worry about it. That's the main. Others' expectations, yes, Prabhu.
And Krishna's expectations are that we will focus on him.
That's it. Focus on, do whatever he says in Bhagavad Gita. That's it. Once we are able to please Krishna, we are meeting Krishna's expectations, we don't have to worry about it. We really cannot satisfy each and everyone in this world. We have to please Krishna. Only person we need to please is Krishna. Then everybody else, if they are devotees, they will be pleased. No need to worry about it.
Thank you, Guruji. That is good advice.
Yes,
sometimes, in the job, you get caught up with things and then, it's always
We should not be worried. We should not be thinking. Leave it to Krishna and try to meet Krishna's expectations. Satisfy Krishna. Then
Thank you,
Krishna,
Guruji. Thank you for your advice. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Suresh Tabi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Very nice discussion, very nice explanation, Guruji, today. Especially I felt like when you are explaining the things about the senses and sense organs, and then I felt like if you remember the Krishna, it is like in a water filter. You have a filter, so that like only like good things go to your mind. So maybe like the Krishna will be acting like a filter into our mind. So when we always think like we should go through the Krishna, so automatically it purifies, and then like your mind gets purified. So so you do not face other problems, Guruji.
Yes.
That is what I came to my mind, Guruji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Krishna's mercy. If we remember Krishna, we don't have to worry about it.
So other things do not come into the mind. Moment like you remember the Krishna, other things do not come into the mind. So he is acting like a filter to us, Guruji.
And Krishna will keep us very much busy in his service. We will not have any time to think about other things.
Yes, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Satyendra Singh Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Pranam.
Krishna Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Really a wonderful class. Enjoying the class, you can say. In today's sloka also, you have emphasized Sanyam, control. Control is a key feature by which we can control our mind, control our senses, and then our path towards Lord Krishna will be easy. Beautiful class, Guruji. Wonderful class. We are enjoying the class, and the interactions with the devotee is enhancing our knowledge. You can get Gyan, Gita Gyan. Really wonderful class. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Gayatri Shiva Kumar Mataji. Sunil Shivas Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Dandot Pranam, Guruji. Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram.
Hare Ram. Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kadiraman Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Ram Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sorry, Guruji, I couldn't listen to lessons, but I did a chanting with you, Guruji, partially. The second chant was full, completed. And just finished my meeting, Guruji, heading for the other one. And yesterday, Tamil class also good, Guruji. And so I was keep remembering that I think whatever is going to happen, Krishna is envisioned and prompting us, Guruji. Nothing else is required. It's a fantastic guide. And this is sufficient, Guruji. Reading Bhagavad Gita alone is sufficient. There is no other intelligence is required, Guruji. The rest all secondary, which we can, it's kind of an addendum. We can attach our engineering degree, medicine degree, aeronautics, whatever it is, we can get it. But the fundamental must be covered, Guruji. The base must be strong. That is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, Guruji. I'm really fortunate, Guruji, to be with you, and you're taking so much of efforts, Guruji. Well, I was a bit upset, Guruji. Your laptop needs to be changed. I think probably let me find a way to send this to you, Guruji.
No, it's already working, Prabhu. The same laptop, no problem. At the time, there was some power, maybe that adapter has got some issue.
Yeah. You can also plan, Guruji, whether it is possible for you to migrate to Singapore, because I heard this shooting incident in Texas and all. I personally feel US is not a good country to live, Guruji. I think with the thing, so it's best, Guruji, if you move over here, and that will be good.
To India, Prabhu. Yes, yeah, we can visit Singapore definitely.
Yeah, India is close by. Singapore is no different from India, Guruji. It's an extension of India only. It's extension of Tamil Nadu, in other words, Guruji. Tamil is an official language also here.
Yes.
Let's see, Guruji. By Krishna's wish, these things will happen, Guruji.
Oh, Krishna's
Far away, Guruji. I think hopefully when you come closer to us, it will be better, Guruji. I'll work towards that, Guruji. I have to get, as you said, you want to start up a school here and all. Let me get all the infra ready, Guruji. That is my prime duty. Thank you very much, Guruji. Hare Krishna to all. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Manoranjan Sahu Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Very wonderful session. Having noisy places. So, really, it's a grateful Ram Prabhu told rightly that all the degrees and influence not required. Only devotion, kirtan, manan to Lord Krishna is enough. And others, maybe some extent it's cannot ignore, but totally is that is only for material aggrandizement. But the spiritual elevation, the religiosity is not enough. The spiritual is very important. Throughout life, if you any person goes to height because of spiritual knowledge. Without spiritual knowledge, maybe a scientist or doctor cannot prosper, cannot be well established without the spiritual knowledge. I feel that. Thank you, Guruji. Pranam, Guruji. Satada Naman, Naman, Naman. Wonderful session.
Hare Krishna, let us listen to Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.